Welcome to 360 TV. My name is Adonis Lockett. I'm your host. And of course, I got my trusty consigliere, Mr. I stay with a pocket square on Thursdays for no reason, Darion Coleman.
You already know, man. The consigliere.
Our guest tonight, Mr. Justin Brooks.
What's happening, y'all?
Been in the game 10 years. House hacking before house hacking was a thing.
Yeah.
This guy has been all over the place from wholesaling, getting into the house hacking game, moving monies, literally every part of the business. So welcome to 360 TV. Let's get started.
Hey, does that make...
All right, so to kick off the show, so Justin, you made a comment earlier, right before we got started, that you were house hacking before house hacking was a thing.
Yeah.
Tell us about your background and tell us what that statement means.
Yeah, so from Kansas City, born and raised. Yeah. Born in the hood, so I grew up on the east side of Kansas City. Everybody know that's from Kansas City. East side of Kansas City, 64130 was like the murder zip code of Kansas City.
Shout your zip code out.
Yeah. So it was bad. It was bad, but you know, my mom kept us in church, so I luckily didn't go down any of the roads that the typical go down. I could have been very easily a statistic, but ended up going to a very good school through elementary school. I was a scholarship kid, so went to a private school on scholarship through most of my elementary school. After elementary school, went to high school, went to college prep high school, but decided not to go to college. I went to the military,
Okay.
air traffic controller. Went to
What branch of the military?
Navy,
Okay.
all day long. Yeah, go Navy. Beat on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that like that, but no, no. But seriously though, I was in the military. I was talking to a dude. They call it the smoke pit. It's like a glorified smoke area. I was talking to a dude. And he was just like, hey, man, I flip houses for a living. And I was like, what's flipping houses?
Right.
And he said, well, it's when you buy low and sell high. Now, the backstory to that is I used to go, my mom was smart. She seen something in me because we used to drive to church. We drive by this industrial area, and I would see trucks on the side of the road. And I'd be like, man, I want to buy that truck. I want to buy that truck. I want to buy that truck. And my mom was like, you can do it. You can do it.
Right.
And so she put me in these stock market camps just to like fuel stuff. And when he said, I buy low and I sell high, it took me back to when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And he said, if you want to do it, man, go read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I said, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? He said, yeah, man, you ever heard of it? I said, I think my mom tried to get me to read that like a couple of years ago.
Right.
He's like the third person that bring that up.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. So I go back to Japan. I lived in Japan. So I went back to Japan, bought the book, went out to sea, read the book, changed my life.
Okay.
Fast forward. I started investing in myself in like 2008. I bought my first property in 2012. It was a duplex. I bought this duplex for $175,000.
And this is in Texas or
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
So
right.
yeah, bought it, lived in one side, rented out the other. So before anybody had told what was like talking about house hacking, I used my VA loan, went and bought me a house, and then I went and talked to. I took a Robert Kiyosaki like coaching course.
Okay.
And he said, not him. The coach said, go to your local real estate group and look for seller finance deals. Now, back then they were everywhere, and
Right.
I wish I knew what I know now back then.
Don't we
Oh
all?
my God. Oh my God.
Right.
But anyway, fast forward, I ended up buying a couple of houses, did some things, and it's been a really fun ride. I built an assisted living home.
Okay.
I ain't talked about that very much, but
So we're gonna jump into that.
yeah, we had to talk about it. It's a little bit different than any other type of real estate you get into. It's a very, very niche field. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. So then, what do you do full time?
So technically my full-time gig, I'm in sales. So I do digital marketing sales.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell you this, I'm an entrepreneur through and through.
Right.
And my ego was speaking to me back probably a year ago, a little bit less than a year ago. And I was like, man, I really should start a company with like a marketing agency, digital marketing specifically.
Right.
And I got to about November and I was going through all the research to start it up. And I got to the point where it was fulfillment. And so here's the secret. A lot of guys will fulfill with no experience. They'll
Right.
say, oh, yeah, I got a guy who can do that for me all day long. And they're talking about somebody in the Philippines or India who
Correct.
they don't even understand what the heck they're doing over there.
Right.
And so I was like talking to the dude. So I hired a consultant. I'm always smart about that. I'll hire a consultant all day long. I hired a consultant. I said, hey, man, what do I need to do to start a marketing agency? And after I did that, he said, well, do you know how to do SEO? I was like, no. He said, well, you can watch a video and you can take some classes. I was like, nah, that ain't interesting. I'm not a real techie. He said, do you know how to do Facebook? I said, no.
He said, I don't really know anything about it.
I know a little bit about the back end, but
I log in and send
yeah.
messages, you know.
I can read the business page. The problem is, it's a whole bunch more stuff to go into that. So anyway, I ended up going on with him, and I was like, man, if you can fulfill, I can sell. So let's just create this kind of a partnership, and let's figure it out. So that's what I do.
So right now, there's so much to dive into.
To drop some wisdom.
He's about to drop some wisdom. So that's a perfect segue into our whiskey wisdom with Lauren.
What's up, everybody? It's Lauren, and I'm here with this week's Whiskey Wisdom. This week it's kind of a stressful week for me, so I have to keep it straight. I am drinking Johnny Walker Black Label straight on rock. I gotta take the edge off. Still one of my favorites. So, this week, the Whiskey Wisdom is near and dear to me. Keep track of your lead times. When you're doing your renovations and you know that you have to order, it could be appliances or materials. You're working with your contractors and there's material that they need to order. Keep track of your lead times. Somehow, I lost track of the appliance lead time, and now with COVID and everything, 30 to 60 days has turned into 90 plus days, and it's turned into oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? The project's gonna be finished and we don't have appliances. So, tip, keep track of your lead times, those that are kind of, I don't want to say dicey, but those that have variable times due to, these manufacturers, they need parts from other manufacturers and they get delayed. So now your manufacturer is delayed. Now you don't have what you need. There's obviously a balance between trying to make sure that you have the materials when you need them versus having it too soon and then running the risk of appliances or materials getting stolen or just turning up missing because that's a vacant house. People are working in every day. Things come in and out all the time, but you always have to just keep that in mind. Find the right balance between when you need to order it versus when you need to have it. Try to find some place in the middle to store it if you need to, but don't drop the ball and don't get stuck without having what you need when you need it. All right, I gotta go work on a plan B. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
And shout out to Tony Matayucci out of Florida that's tuning in for
What
the
up,
show.
Tony?
What's up, Tony?
We appreciate you tuning in. So to the point, Lauren's position was understand your lead time from manufacturer and products ordered. So let me ask you this: you both, you've been in the business. you more like a kind of.
Hey, don't
Fair
say
enough.
It. Don't say
so,
it. Don't you say it.
So your GC tells you that, listen, it's going to take me 4 weeks. your GC tells you it's going to take me 4 weeks for a project. Manufacturer says it's going to take me 6 weeks to deliver. Who's at fault? The GC for the misquote? Do you absorb that, or do you roll that on to the GC like, bro, you need to understand your lead times from your manufacturer?
Dude, it's all day long to GC. It's so funny that I had to do, if you don't understand your lead time, you're going to get ate up. I had a
Okay.
dude I was talking to one time, and we walked this house, and the contractor shows up. I said, hey, man, what you going to do this house in? Oh, I can get it done in 18 days. I said, dude, you know we got to, like, literally do everything in this house. And I mean, it wasn't like take it down to the studs, but like all the windows, paint, drywall repair, brand new kitchen. He said, 18 days. I said, bruh, I know what it takes to get windows. It's like on the speed, it's like 7 days to get new windows. I said, and then the granite, just the granite is gonna take you 14 days. And by the way, if we got cabinets that are custom, again, you know, they're cheap custom, but they're, you know, really
Custom
nice. Custom nonetheless.
Listen.
It's gonna take us 10 days. I said, dude, that's 2 weeks already. I said, we ain't even got to the part where we start talking about paint, drywall, letting it sit and cure and all of that stuff. I said, dude, you're looking at easily 30 days. How you gonna get this done in 18? Oh, I can get it done. I said, oh Lord, here we go.
So then here's my counter to that. Cool, you can get it done in 18 days. I'll give you a 5-day buffer, and then on day 6 we start reducing your compensation,
that's right.
$150 a day.
Exactly.
And let's see how quickly they change up when that's actually in the contract executed by all parties.
This man thought it was Extreme Home Makeover.
He sure did. I was like, for real? I'm like, really?
18 days, I got it.
So all right, so Justin, you mentioned that so you went through a whole bunch of stuff. So you say you were house hacking before house hacking was house hacking.
Yeah.
All right, give us the juice on that. So you read Rich Dad Poor Dad like most. I read Rich Dad Poor.
Seriously.
No,
It's like the
in
third
fairness,
person. But
I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and on the plane, I think I was halfway through the book. I broke out a piece of paper and I sketched out and drafted out what ultimately would become Lockett-N-Homes. Right. So no, I read.
I feel like I'm still asleep.
In the middle of Rich Dad Poor Dad, I wrote down my flipping business and how I was going to use that to become a credit business and then a lending business, literally in the middle of reading Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Wow.
So I understand the power of that book.
Yeah.
So that book prompted you to house hack.
Yes.
All right. Tell me how you got to the point where you decided to do the whole house hacking thing before that was like actually a thing.
And actually, before you say that,
Yeah.
for those that may not know what house hacking is, can you explain
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. So house hacking is basically where you move into whatever unit you're going to live in and you rent out a space in your house. So it's people doing it with Airbnb. So they'll buy a single family home and they'll rent a room out in their house. That's house hacking. There's people that are doing it with fourplexes. So if you don't know, anything up to 4 units is still considered single family. So if you go and buy a fourplex, it's still considered single family. So for all my veterans out there, if you want to buy a 4-unit property and live in 1 unit, you can buy that under your VA loan.
Okay.
Woo.
So you
That's
buy it
a-
under a VA loan.
That's right.
What are the perks of using your VA loan?
No money down. Zero.
So with a VA loan, for all our veterans out there, you can buy a fourplex at 100% financing.
That's right.
You live in 1 unit.
Let me say this. What is the return on investment if you put no money down and get money every month?
Infinite.
Infinite
Mm-hmm.
returns.
Infinite.
Do you know what infinite return
I
means?
feel like I should say
It means
infinite.
Infinite
Everybody said
money.
I should say it
It's
too.
money. I
Right.
mean, so you know, we start at. Oh, and here's the deal. So everything changes. Stuff changes all the time. So when you start talking about like the VA loan, and again, I'm gonna hit my veterans because I have a really big heart for veterans. So when you start looking at exactly what it takes to get into your VA loan, you can buy a house. There's no cap. I think they raised the cap on it like a year or 2 ago, where you can buy as many VA loan houses as you need based
Whoa.
off of capacity. Right?
I thought you have to get into a VA loan and then get out of it to use your VA again.
There's a cap. It's either it's a $400,000 cap, so you can do a $200,000 VA loan. You have to have the reasonable expectation to stay in the home, or the intent to stay in the home. If you catch another job, you move out, you can use VA loan again, up to 400 grand. I
Wow.
believe. I think, but I
But
feel
I'm
like
sure
they changed it.
There are parameters that say you
Yeah.
have to be X number of miles away from
Yeah.
your original home.
No.
No.
No,
No?
no, that ain't. No.
1 year time limit on it?
No, it's intent to stay in the home.
Intent.
You have to have the intent to stay in the home.
So, to the VA who's watching, if y'all want to sponsor 360 TV, we'd love to
Yeah.
have you sponsor, and we can walk you through all the different benefits that come with the VA loan. Feel free to reach out to us, support@myRE360.com, or reach out to us, www.myRE360.com. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. So, but to my veterans, so then you live in a house, you rent the house out to somebody else. So let's just use a duplex for an example. Before they actually created the cap, if there is a cap, I'm gonna tell you, you just refinance out into FHA or conventional loan, and then go use your
VA again. So you could literally buy a fourplex, live in it for some period of time, refinance into a conventional loan. Let's say conventional, just keep it clean.
Yep.
And potentially cash out on your refinance,
Yep.
right? So you could buy with zero money down.
Yep.
Get in, get it all rented out, live for free, make money,
Yep.
refinance,
Yep.
cash out,
Yep.
use your VA loan again with zero down,
Yep.
and keep the cash out in your pocket.
That's right.
Sounded real profitable to me. You know.
The true definition of house that, if you've ever wanted to know what house hacking is, you've just heard it firsthand.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you house hack the duplex.
Yep.
Okay, and then after that,
Bought rentals, flipped homes, did assisted living. I built an assisted living home.
I mean,
with
man,
some
you're
partners.
doing a lot with your VA though.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
does the
so
VA know
no,
about
the VA.
this?
I didn't use the VA loan for all of that. So
I'm about to say,
I,
because
so I'm real.
after
I
this
like.
episode, they coming, they auditing him.
No, I keep it real. So I worked full time while I was figuring all this stuff out.
Right.
I read 700 or 800 books on money, finance, real estate.
I'm
business.
sorry, how many?
700 or 800 books. Like no
100?
cap. 100. No
I don't
cap.
think I've read that many books in my life.
There's a degree of wolf ticket selling I feel he's doing.
Hey.
800 books?
read
So
800
He
I
read paperbacks.
Hey, no.
15 pages.
No, I'm
chapter.
gonna tell you this. When I ran out of money, I go to the library and I rent 70 or 80 books because you can rent 80. That was the max. I asked him what was the max, and I promise you, I will never forget this as long as I live. I had a Kia Sorento or something like that. It was new, but it was a Kia, and
he said, but it was new.
it was a Kia.
It's
I just want
It
to
was
point
new.
that out. It was new.
But
It was a
Kia.
new
Like,
Kia.
you know, there's a balancing
There's a
act.
balance. But I went to the library, and I was about to go on vacation. So I went to the library right before I went on vacation, took a couple of books with me, threw the rest of the books in the back of the car. I said, hey, man, I'm from the hood, so you know this is how you know you're from the hood. I said, hey, man, I told one of my friends, hey, man, go check out my house and move my car every once in a while to make it look like
I'm here. Right?
So he said, all right, man. Man, he gets over there. He drives my car. Before I go out to sea, the very first day I'm out of town, he says, dude, what the heck is going on in your car? I said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't clean the books up. I still had 70 or 80 books on the back seat of my car.
So you stole the books from the library.
No.
I'm about to say, I know
I
you
just- I
had
used
a
to-
bill when you
I-
said
The library.
I used to. I had-
we going out of business because mofos like you, man. Like,
But I mean, these libraries, you hit the public library, you hit the specialty library, you can get all these books, any kind. So this is my thing. If anybody says I want to learn something and they say, oh, I don't have enough money for books, man, the library is
trying.
free. You ain't trying.
I don't want to glaze over the fact that you didn't return those 70 or 80
I did
books,
turn.
though.
I turned them back. I turned them all back in.
his
I
late
used to
fees
rent them
was
at a time.
$3,000.
It's like $40. It was. I think
Per
the highest
book.
I got was $40.
Per book.
So, but I used to really have to return them things really quick because my bill would get real.
I'm sorry. The fact that
real
you rented
quick.
books, is this pre-internet? Is this before the
No,
AT&T
no.
.com
He
boom?
said
Like,
this was 2 years ago. No, I'm just
No,
joking.
it was.
like, why are you renting books with the internet?
2015. Well, because I don't read online. I don't like online. I don't like.
I don't do
e-readers.
I'm with
One.
you, man. I'm tangible.
I like
wanna-
a tangible book.
Yeah,
I
wanna
can't listen.
feel-
I'll go
yeah.
to sleep if I listen to an audio book.
Exactly.
Really?
Yes.
I will.
Dude,
I tried to
Oh my God.
Audible
the-
while I was driving. That was a
Oh,
bad
it was
idea.
bad.
You
Yeah, that was
crazy.
a bad
Audible.
idea.
You almost
The-
fall asleep for driving.
Yes,
weren't
bro.
you?
The
Yes.
torture of turn page.
I love it.
I have to do
Outta-
that.
get
yeah.
outta here, though.
I love
swear
it.
to you.
It's something about holding a book, having your coffee next to you, reading.
Hold
It's
on,
just-
I'm gonna make it weird. And the smell of the pages, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna, I love the smell of the pages. See, we got it. Yep.
Production's agreeing with
There you
me.
go.
The smell of the book. It's good for you.
Listen, some of us have time warped into the 80s. Like, I'm cutting edge. And listen, I'm audibles, audiobooks all day.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
Okay. All right. So you stole books from the library for 70 or 80
I'm gonna go
books
with you on
from-
this. Yeah, I got about 70 books.
All right. So you stole 80 books from the library. And in those books, were they teach you about business or were they predominantly about real estate?
So it's funny. Out of all the books I read, I probably have read 10% or less on real estate.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So what were all the books about? Let me guess. Wait. Romantic, Wait, romantic non. What is it? What is?
You don't even know what you're doing.
I'm not a book person. I'm not a book. Or Zane, you know. Eroticas.
I don't even know none of them dudes. Like, what is what's
Zane,
the scary dude? What's the scary dude?
Stephen King.
Yeah,
Stephen King. So
Yeah.
Stephen King or Zane, if you're still around and you want to sponsor 360, feel free to reach out to us.
Stephen King's still alive.
Support at myRE360.com.
Hey,
Zane,
dude.
my grandma had all your books. So if you want to support, feel free to holler at us.
Wait a minute, your grandma.
My grandma was a freak. I don't know.
Oh, my.
Nana had a whole row. Look,
That's a 360. Wow.
actually, Freedom, one of the production people know my grandmother. Tell me I'm lying. Nana did not have a whole row of Zane books.
Oh, wow.
I would come in, I'm like, Nana, why do you have all these sex eroticas? She'd be like, get the hell out of my business. I'm like, fair enough.
Hey, Nana said age ain't nothing but a number.
Fair enough. So I let Nana make it. So
There you go. There you go.
All
Shout
right,
out
so
to Nana, man. Shout
after
out to
Zane eroticas and Stephen King horror novels, you read a few books on real estate.
Now, the other books is personal development, so like mindset. I grew up in the hood, so, you know, it wasn't a big deal to hear gunshots outside at night. I mean, I didn't learn about
Hey, I
money
live in
growing
the
up.
hood. That was
Yeah.
last
You live in the
night.
hood now.
Yeah.
So, like, I
was
want to be
shooting
clear.
last night.
Darion lives in the hood that's
And I
at the
love it.
start of transition. So he's not at the tail end of it. So that's his life now.
Nah, bro, I
It
can't
should
do it
be
no
shooting.
So
more.
what you're saying is you don't pay him enough.
Hello.
Oh!
Hello? Now let's plug that. If anybody out there wants to help me get a bigger check, go to www.gofund. No, I'm just joking.
Well, send him your cash app.
Hey, I had to pull a Kermit on that one, but that's none of my business. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Nah, but I was reading personal development books, mindset books, books on money, like I love numbers, so like figuring out. And then I'm kind of pessimistic, so like for all I'm very optimistic when it comes to what I can do. I'm very pessimistic on what people tell me because I think everything is a kind of a masquerade or a stage. So everybody wants to put on their best self every time they speak with you.
Right.
And so when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I was looking for holes. I wasn't looking for the gems. I was looking for the holes. When I read Napoleon Hill's book, I was looking for the holes. What are you not telling the poor kid from the hood about how to get rich? And so every book I read, I was looking for all the holes. Tony Robbins, Unlimited Power. What are the holes? Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. What are the holes? Cash Flow Quadrant. What are the holes? Money Master the Game. What are the holes? I'm trying to figure out what it is I need to do. So I'd sit at work. Now, mind you, I worked in logistics, so all I did is create plans for 15 years of my life. I create plans. Plan A, B, and C. You know, in school when they say train left station A and train left station B,
And
where do they meet?
I
can do that in my head.
I never got that question right. First of all, that is an impossible question to
No, it's
answer.
not. I do it
Train
in my
A
head.
leaves at 60 miles an hour at 2 o'clock, and train B leaves at 30. They're like the laws of physics don't allow you to understand when they interact.
60 miles per. Listen, no. So 60 miles per hour is 1 mile per minute. There you go.
Yeah.
55 miles per hour is about 75 seconds per minute. So you take big number minus small number divided by 2. That's where they meet.
Adonis was the person on the test that said they just met. It was within an hour.
And you can tell within about 10 miles where they go meet. So I could walk up to somebody, I could say, and I have 60 trains on the screen. I say, hey, this train's going to be here, this train's going to be here, this train's going to be here, this train's going to be here. Now I'm saying all that to say the reality was I was putting together a plan. So once I mastered my job, I was then putting together a plan for my life. So then I would sit there and I would write pro forma after pro forma after pro forma, because the reality is single family homes don't get you to Robert Kiyosaki status. Single family homes don't get you to Ken McElroy status. Single family homes don't make you rich. What makes you rich is commercial real estate. Let's talk about it.
I felt that in.
Let's talk about it.
Right here.
What makes you
was right
rich
here
is
where I felt that,
commercial
right here.
real estate.
Oh shit, this is new.
Let's talk about
Dropping
this.
gems. All right, I like it.
Oh, he been tearing it up the whole time.
So no,
Listen here, I'm like, he's dropping some gems in there. I'm just,
I saw. So me, when I feel the gem drop, I go, Adonis has this look where he goes. He kind of leaned backward.
You You was dropping. I was like, God damn, this shit is
like-
fire. I said it in my head like, this shit is fire.
Single family homes don't get you rich. It's a commercial.
So let's
real
talk about
estate.
that because
What does that
everybody
mean?
say single family home. Start with single family. Start with single family. Start with single family. The reality is when you start with single family, the way they value single family homes is the comp method.
Okay.
Right.
The way they value commercial real estate is the income method. That's easy. Everybody know that, right?
Right.
Right.
So let's run a math problem. On a single family
I'm
home.
sorry, before you start, I'm still recovering from the trains leaving. Listen,
You messing them up tonight.
listen, I've been trying to stay engaged, but I was like, that is how you solve that equation. As a mid-30s adult, I never knew how to solve that question until right now. I cannot tell you how well I'm going to sleep tonight, knowing how to solve that question.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you
Wait. I have to jump in. How much money do you borrow from how many people?
Well, here's the thing.
And you just said on the internet you can't do math.
Don't you answer that.
No. All right. Hang on. In fairness,
I'm not gonna let you do
I'm
this to
fairness,
yourself.
I am a hard money lender. My degree is engineering.
Yes.
My degree is numbers.
Yes.
And I can tell you the stress level of a crate with a glass
come
on.
on.
It, but I could not tell you when 2 trains leaving separate stations with me.
And when they gonna collide.
It is my curse. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it.
Hey, and I ain't got no degree, so I'm just saying.
Hey, it all worked out.
But you know when the train's gonna get there.
Exactly.
I'm just
Hey, it
saying.
count
I
for
read
something.
my way through that. What is they call it?
I'm about to say,
Autodidact?
he got his degree in them 800 books.
That's
that
right.
read.
That he stole from
right.
the library.
Yeah, I stole from the library. Hey.
So, all right. So now that I'm recovered, because I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm gonna do the math when I go home.
Yeah,
I'm
let's do
gonna have
that.
2 trains leave, and I'm gonna see if his theory works out.
You got to have mileposts. So it starts with mileposts, but it's big number minus small number divided by 2.
Don't explain it again. Like, keep
All right,
going.
there you go.
Keep
So,
going.
Let him figure
single
it out.
family home versus commercial. So when
Yeah.
you look at a single family home, if you take a single family home and let's just use really simple math, you raise the rent by $10. How much more money is that
I
home
mean,
worth?
$10 is a little modest. Like,
No, it ain't.
I own.
No, it ain't. Watch this.
Okay.
So you raise it by $10.
10%.
How much more do
I'd
you
say
make a
10%.
month? I mean, how much more is that home valued at? Nothing.
Right.
Because it's comparable. Let's just say you have a 100-unit apartment, but I'm gonna.
I mean, can we use real numbers? though? Wait,
No, we are.
He got out the calculator.
Who the hell raises rent $10?
Okay. Let's raise it
I mean,
100.
10%.
$100.
All right. Let's,
No, that ain't,
$100.
That ain't. I've had rent raised like $15, and I still had questions.
Oh,
Well, you're in the
I still had questions. What has changed? Break it down for me, please.
I'm sorry. I just can't. Like, really?
I'm for real.
And I still had
I
questions.
promise you, when I was living in Houston, I was just starting my career. They raised my rent $15, and I went to the leasing office. Yes,
Excuse
sir.
me, ma'am.
Yes,
Why
sir.
did you raise my rent $15?
No shame in my game.
Why did
want
I
know.
have to? Now, I can no longer buy that Big Mac with cheese.
Because I said I woke up and my apartment still looked the same. So please explain to me.
Oh my God.
All
Okay.
right. So you were saying single family houses are just the kick in the shins.
They kicking the shins because okay. So $100, you raise it $100.
Okay.
Let's just say it was $1,000. You raise it $100. That's $1,100.
Right.
Take the same thing across 100 units, right? Mm-hmm. That's
Do the math for us.
I'm gonna do the
Don't
math.
calculate it.
Times 100. That's $10,000 a month.
Correct.
Now everybody's like, "Oh my God, that's so amazing! $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's $120,000 a year, right?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you take that times 12. That's $120,000 a year. Let's run this against a cap rate of something conservative, like
What is cap rate?
cap rate is if you buy a house for cash, how much money is it going to? So it's actually NOI divided by what you paid for it.
What's NOI?
Net operating income.
Okay.
So net operating income is, there's a formula, and I hate to do this, but I'm gonna do it. So the formula is, it's the gross income minus your vacancy. After your vacancy, you get your, it's like potential gross income minus vacancy. After that, it's your gross potential income. Gross potential income minus expenses gives you NOI. NOI minus debt service gives you cash flow. Cash flow minus debt equity gives you your true cash flow.
Come on, somebody.
Okay.
You know his stuff. He said, y'all not.
Where's the gym? Where's the gym?
Y'all not
Drop the
tripping him up
gems.
tonight. Yeah.
Goddamn it, drop the gems. Do the gems thing.
Hey.
Do the gems thing. Drop it. There we go. Listen, you know how long it took me to know that formula? It took me like 2 months. I literally had to go through that for like 2 months before I understand NOI and cap rate.
And he just, hey, just like that.
He just pissed away 2 months of hardcore, like, I don't get it.
Hey, he keep you right. He got you right on the trains, and now he got you right on
the NOIs and cap rates. Listen, I gotta tell you, I'm smart. Like, I'm good with the real estate numbers. Just
All right,
NOI
so
and the
real
trains.
quick. Okay, so 120,000 we here. Let's just take it against a 10% cap rate. So if you divide that by 10%, that's $1.2 million you've increased the value of your property.
Wow.
If you then, hold on, let me finish because this is, I'm going to explain it.
Double down on that. Explain it.
He's gonna break it down.
Okay.
After you raise the rent and then your valuation increases, you refinance out, and at a 70% loan to value rate, you keep 70% of that money tax free.
Tell me how you increase
Wow.
your value $1.2 million by increasing $100 over 100 units.
Because everything is based off of your cap rate, your capitalization rate.
Okay.
If you look at the cap rate for an area, so capitalization rate is just a function of the area. It's what most people don't break down is it's a glorified comp method.
Okay.
Because the reality is
For commercial and multifamily.
for commercial and multifamily units. Because
Okay.
the reality is in a given area, your rents are going to be about the same.
Okay.
And so your cap rate thus will be about the same. Because the buildings justify what the rent is, and if
Right.
the buildings justify what the rent is, that justifies what your gross income is, which justifies what your NOI is, which justifies what your cap rate is. If you understand that from the area, then you can build a comp base for the area. And then you can figure out
Oh
valuation.
my God! It just hit. Like, oh my gosh!
That's how the
That's
people get
major.
rich. That's how people get rich.
That is a major key. Watch this. If you're watching right now, rewind and watch again tonight. It's gonna hit like it just hit for me. That is major.
That's
That
10
is
years in the
some-
making.
that
Like
is
I
solid,
studied.
okay.
Like when I say I
Wow.
studied, I studied.
And you just gave it away for free.
Yeah.
We thank
All
you.
right, so then let me ask you this question then. Because if you're saying that I could just buy a 100-unit complex, raise rents $100, and raise value $1 million, so it sounds like then multifamily or commercial is the way to go.
I agree.
That's what he said.
100%.
Okay, all right, but then, so commercial versus multifamily, right? Because
Okay.
that method applies to both.
Okay.
But commercial and multifamily are two completely different things.
Everything's completely different. So here's the deal. If you think you're going to get into an asset class, no matter what it is, you're going to take 5 to 7 years to learn it. If you're going to get into industrial, it's going to be 5 to 7 years. Multifamily, 5 to 7. Commercial office, 5 to 7. Land brokerage, 5 to 7. Residential, 5 to 7. Any asset class you get into, if you don't spend 5 to 7 years learning it, you're not going to know the asset class. Here's the thing. I don't care how much money you got. It was a dude who I talked to in Dallas. I met with him. He owns his own fund. I said, so what are some of the things that you would recommend? He said, listen, man, I had some dudes who thought because they had money, they could just go in and bully me out of a deal. So they ended up winning the deal. He said, but what they didn't do was have the time in the chair to operate the deal. And what ended up happening to the rich people was they said, oh yeah, I got the money, they bought the deal. They were like, oh, let's do some improvements so they can raise their rent and they can make their money. Well, the problem was they didn't know that the commercial office building had a grandfathered sprinkler system. So if they did any updates, they would have to update the whole sprinkler system in the building, the whole thing. So when they upgraded that one floor, they ended up having to go back and replace the whole sprinkler system because of $4 million.
Woo!
He said that one underwriting line item cost him $4 million. And he said he underwrote it and priced his offer based off of that alone. And he said he didn't get it. Those guys got it. They cost him $4 million. They lost on the deal. So when you start talking about trying to get into an asset class just to make the money without the seat knowledge, that's where you fall off. That's easy.
Drop the gems again.
I swear.
Ryan, drop the gems. Hurry up.
I just can't get up. Like my chest tight from that 4 million. Man.
Yeah. So
I don't know, like if I had to choose between fixing my office building that I spent $2 million on for $4 million of plumbing, I'd be like, you know what, just take this shit back.
Right.
Like I don't even want to be in the office space no more.
If that happens, I'm telling you right now, I'm confessing to a
feeling
crime.
it
I'm
hurt.
faking
That
my
shit will
death.
burn.
I'm feeling it be
I thought you were gonna say it's gonna burn down.
I'm letting y'all know right now. It's either burning or I'm faking my death. I'm guilty.
We're gonna see him on social media the next day, like,
like, bro, you're dead. Like, you dead right
oh,
or dead wrong with you call it.
Right.
I don't owe nobody no money.
So, all right. So then your position is take the 5 to 7 years. So how would you recommend or encourage people? Because is it safe to say the society today is a microwave society?
Yeah.
I want it now. I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything, but I want to just log on to something, learn it in an hour or two, be able to do it now. I want to be rich in real estate. I want to be famous in the public eye. What is your recommendation to the people who want to get into the space, but also have that microwave mentality that I can get in 6 months, I'm a rock star making millions in multifamily or commercial real estate?
It's not gonna happen. So, and
No. Tell the camera.
no, it's not gonna happen. So here's the deal.
You didn't need to tell me.
When you start looking at anything, it's Malcolm Gladwell's. Is it Malcolm Gladwell, The Outliers, 10,000 Hour Rule? Okay, Malcolm Gladwell. I thought I had it right. I didn't read that book.
And
I had to
Malcolm,
listen to that.
If you want to sponsor us, feel free to reach out to us. Support at myRE360.com, www.myRE360.com. We'd love to have you as a sponsor.
Seth Godin too. By the way, I don't even got no parts of this show, but I mean Seth Godin. What is it called? Oh God, now I can't think of the name. Not Multipliers. It's not Linchpin. It's I'm gonna think of it before the show is over. Sure. But anyway, so Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 Hours rules apply. He said even the greatest chess player in the world takes 10 years. No, it's not Purple Cow. It's it's the one about where you get stuck. The dip. The dip. There we go.
What's the dip?
Oh my God, that book changed my life. That book made me quit the railroad.
Wow.
Really?
That book made me quit the railroad. It's like 50 pages or 75 pages. It is.
A 50-page book made you quit your day job?
I was making $100,000 a year. As a matter of fact, I would like base pay, and I had just got a raise. The railroad had just raised us to I think it was $1,000 a year. I was making at 25, $150,000 a year. 25 years old, black dude from the hood. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like living. I thought I would.
You made it.
I made it.
You made it.
I made it. So, but I quit that book because he said and I'm a butcher this a little bit. He said there's only a few paths in life. He said when you take a path, he said every path it requires a dip. But after the dip, you're gonna end up in a cul-de-sac. You're gonna end up on a straight path to where you want to go, or you're gonna end up at a dead end. It was something like that. That's like the gist of the book. And so after I read that, he said, figure out what it is you're on. And right then I figured out I was in a cul-de-sac. I was comfortable. My kids could play outside all day long. My kids could have whatever they wanted. I didn't even realize how much money I was making. But the reality was I was dead. I was at a place where I could not grow.
Wow. Wow. That's
So I don't even remember what we was talking about.
It don't even matter anymore after that.
No.
It don't matter what we started with.
I promise you, each episode gets better and better. I mean, just when I think that a guest can't come on and just give a lot of wisdom, we topped every time. Like, this is good.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. You're dropping gems.
Major.
So what are you doing right now, right? Because you dropped a lot of like philosophical type of things that us to consider. What are you doing right now?
Yeah, so digital marketing. I'm in digital marketing. I actually work full time for a company now. 5 years ago, I would have been ashamed to say that because like the culture nowadays is be an entrepreneur, be your own boss, da 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 da. I'm gonna tell you this: ego drives a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And this is a book that I have on my bookshelf that I have not read. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. And every time I think of that title, I think, okay, am I going to let my ego slow me down? Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Ego could be starting a business.
Okay.
Why? Because if you're trying to start a business and you don't know what the hell you're doing, you have no reason taking somebody's money if you don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
So here's the deal. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a digital marketing company. This is what I said to myself. And I hired a consultant. I went down the pathway. I said, hey, listen, I'm going to start this digital marketing company. You show me how to do it. I'll pay you because you can pay anybody to teach you anything.
You really can.
I'll pay you to show me how you do everything you do, and I won't have to worry about fulfillment because I don't understand every detail of every detail. Well, I got to the point about 6 months in, and he was like, yeah, what about this, and what about that, and what about this, and what about that? And I was like, man, I don't know, but I can hire somebody. He said, yeah, but you're going to have to be at a QA, quality assurance, check them to make sure that they're actually providing the service. Right. Otherwise, you're going to just be taking people's money. Mm-hmm. And he said, if you cannot say with a reasonable expectation to return for every dollar somebody gives you, $1.10 back, he said, you ain't got it. And so I talked to him. Dude got 3 degrees in IT, legal hacker, all of that stuff. I said, man, you know what? I'm going to put my ego aside and to get to the point where I want to be, which is I want to understand digital marketing at a really in-depth level. I want to see behind the machine, but I also love to sell. I also love to actually help people get what they want. I'm going to partner with you. And that's what I look at. I look at it as a partnership. You know, I'm in sales. I partner with a guy who knows how to fulfill. Let's do that. On the side, I still do my real estate stuff. So, you know, we talk about real estate all the time.
Right.
I got so many, like, here's the deal. I got so many real estate deals that I got lined up. And I was talking to somebody and I said, man, I feel like I'm just going to become like a guy that doesn't understand the details of the details. And he said, you're right. You're probably going to be the guy who runs the fund, who hires the operators.
Right.
Which is a different, it's a
Yeah,
different model.
It's all knowing your lane. It's about knowing your lane.
Let me give you the counter about that. If you don't understand operations, how do you know if you're running a successful operation?
You hire the best operators.
But here's my point. If your best operator goes left, and again, you're not there to QA.
No, you should know how to. You should understand.
You
should have a baseline understanding. Yeah. Like I have a baseline understanding of multifamily. I got a baseline understanding for
so that's what I make
commercial.
Sure. Just because you're hiring, doesn't mean you're getting the best.
That's ego. Ego is where you say, because I hire somebody who's the best, I got it.
Right.
No problem. I'm gonna be successful because I hired this guy. He's the absolute best. I don't have to know anything about it. It's called turnkey. I'm a turnkey it and move away.
Right.
The reality is, if you don't, Robert Smith said it. Robert F. Smith, black billionaire. Shout out to Robert F. Smith. Alpha,
if you want to sponsor Robert F.
He's an alpha.
I'm not. Shout out to him, man. Shout out
Robert F. Smith. If you want to sponsor,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know.
Hey, Robert F. Smith was my hero. He's like the business hero. He's the richest African American in the country.
What?
And yeah.
Over Oprah?
Yeah. By times two.
Well,
Kanye West. No. So Kanye. Kanye. He ain't.
That 6.6 wasn't. It was actually
like
invalidated.
It was invalidated.
It was invalidated.
Robert F. Smith is
like
worth
1.6.
Yeah. Robert F. Smith was worth $6 million. Back when he was
6 million.
6 billion. 6
Okay.
billion with the B.
Look, he in the front. Hey, shut up, Robert.
Hey, no, seriously though. Like so I studied this. His ousting was because he married somebody and spent $10 million on his wedding. Now, when they, 10 mil.
What in the coming to America?
Exactly. So he ousted himself, and so when they ousted him back in like 2017, put him on the cover of Forbes, he was the second richest black billionaire in the country, next to Oprah. African American History Museum, who wrote the biggest check? Oprah. Who wrote the second biggest check? Robert F. Smith.
Wow.
Positioning. Now, Robert F. Smith is Vista Equities. He's in tech. He's in Austin. You know what happened 2 years later? He dwarfed Oprah by $2 billion.
Oh my
He was worth $4.4 billion. Oprah was worth like 2.2 or 4.4 and 2.1 in 2 years.
Because of
equity, Vista Equities, tech, private equity in tech. So it was a very interesting. So I've always studied this man. Every time he's on YouTube, I'm studying him. Davos Forum, I'm studying him. He was in the church, I'm studying him. Every time, all the time. So anyway, he got to where he got to be, and now he's a richest black man. I don't even know how we got on that, but you know.
I don't either. But
it don't even matter. Like, it was a very, very respectable journey there. So here we originally started with what was next for you, and then you rolled into all of these different influences about what you're doing. Yeah. So to walk us through what is the 3-year plan for you. Like in 3 years, if the stars align and you know everything checked out, what happens in the next 3 years? What's the next thing for you? Because you're like a walking encyclopedia, almanac of information. Like
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not a millionaire yet.
Okay.
I will be.
Okay.
Okay.
I will
Speak.
be.
Put it out in the universe.
Yeah.
Listen. Put it out in the
Hey,
universe.
will be.
can I be one with you?
Yeah, you can. Hey, you're what is it? You're within 5% or 10% of the 5 people you hang out with most. Yeah, you will be. So,
Okay.
the reality is, I set a goal a few years ago to be a million. I didn't understand all this stuff. I'm reading a book right now. It's like changing
Sure you are.
Jack and
That you stole from the library.
Yeah, that I stole from the
All
library.
right, cool.
The Success Principles by Jack Canfield.
Okay. And Jack, if you want to sponsor, feel free to holler at us.
Hey, this book will change your life. I should buy both of y'all.
I mean,
Boy,
you've said that about a couple
No,
books, though.
no.
You should buy both
Top
of us.
5 books in my life. Jack Canfield, The Success Principles are in that book now.
You're kidding.
I'm not lying.
I want it ASAP.
It is like from where I am right now, like just as far as I've read any book that you could think of about money. I mean, like when you start thinking about like money and the principles of money and the principles of finance, you're like, Justin, why aren't you a millionaire right now? It's because I was in the wrong. Oh, that's gonna be so good.
Come on, say it.
You
Don't-
say it.
that's
Say
it.
it
Don't
out loud.
tease us.
Say it out loud.
Don't
When
tease us.
you all are in the wrong place and you're trying to get to where you want to go, you can never get there.
Wow.
It's like being in a pond. You're in this pond, but you should be in a lake. You should be in the ocean.
Wow.
But you're in the wrong pond. I was
so
in
true.
the wrong city trying to do the things that I wanted to do. And when I moved to Dallas, I was just telling you before we started, as soon as I moved to Dallas, stuff started to change.
Come on.
Everything started to change.
Ooh, come
because
on.
you're right. I know too much for me not to be a millionaire already. I'm
Right.
34 years old. I should be like
you?
there. Yeah.
Huh. But as
I'm
smart
getting there.
as smart and as competent as you are, I knew you were going to say early 40s. I was going to make jokes about you not having grades. Like, no, I mean, I say that to say like, yo, you are years ahead of your age.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
You
I
are.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
And even more so to your point, yes, you need to be in the right place and location, but I think that all starts with being in the right state of mind.
You're right.
So if you are
Oh
at
my
home
God.
watching and you want to tap into everything that he's talking about, the knowledge and the real estate and the money, it first starts with being in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, hit me on the DM. I
yeah,
mean, I talk to
How do
you.
people
do
get
they
in
do
touch
that?
with you? How do
How do
people
they
get in
do
touch
that?
with you?
Instagram, Justin Brooks REI. Hit me in the DM. I'm definitely down. LinkedIn, Justin Brooks Team. LinkedIn.com/Justin Brooks Team. Facebook, JH Brooks and Company.
And so, and if people reach out to you, because of his thing, if I'm a viewer, I want to reach out to you and just say, tell me more. Like, you're open to.
I'm down.
Wow.
The reality
giving
is-
the game away for free.
Hey,
Right,
the
right.
reality is there's so many things that are out there right now that are trying to charge you an arm and a leg. The reality is a lot of this stuff is like hogwash. I mean, for real.
Did you say
I
hogwash?
did. I could. You told me I couldn't say nothing bad. So I mean, it's. Hey,
listen.
I'm
Fair
hogwash.
enough.
It's hogwash. I feel like I'm
Instead of
Harry
saying
Potter
bullshit.
here.
Hogwash.
But I mean, the reality is a lot of that stuff is fake, man. I mean, you know, if the dude can't tell you how to do it, like, come on now. Oh, Patrick Bet-David. So if you ain't never watched Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David put out a video talking about there's 3 levels of knowledge. I'm going to quote the first 2 because that's the only thing I can remember.
And
He
that's
was
okay.
saying it was theoretical knowledge, there's seat-based knowledge, and then there's actual knowledge. So like theoretical knowledge is like your professor, the person who
Yeah.
studies it and teaches it. Seat-based knowledge is where you learn it with somebody else through their experience. And then practical knowledge is where you go and you walk the walk, you talk the talk, you experience it yourself. And so if you don't have somebody who's experienced it themselves, seat-based knowledge is good, experience-based knowledge is better.
Right.
Theoretical-based knowledge is about the lightest you can get because everybody is a theorist right now. Everybody's a philosopher.
Correct. I agree.
I'm just saying.
I love it. So speaking of hogwash, man, we enjoyed you being on here. But hogwash reminds me of another segment of the show, Adonis.
You ever been perusing the real estate world, walking houses, shopping online, and you see something that you can't help but ask yourself, what's happening here? Sometimes you just need to ask yourself, like, what's going on? And now that rolls into our next segment of whose man's is this?
What in the hillbilly hell? Oh my God.
The top.
What?
top
Wait,
of
what's
X-
happening?
That is a bridge to nowhere.
Oh my God. That looks like the.
Oh shit! So this isn't a bridge over the pool. The bridge is over the sidewalk.
Over the sidewalk, trouble sidewalk.
What in the door of the Explorer?
So listen, yo, foreman. Listen, hotel owner, this bridge can't go over the pool. You only budgeted for 10 feet. The pool is 15 feet.
Oh my God! What
True,
in the
true.
troll underneath
You know
the
what?
bridge? I
You know
mean,
what?
for real?
Put it on the walkway. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna have a bridge.
We're gonna have a
You
bridge.
don't understand.
He said you gonna Little Mermaid this. You gonna jump out the water to get through this.
Listen. We sold the customers on the bridge.
That they having a bridge.
We having a bridge.
Why don't you just lay and sunbathe underneath the bridge?
Listen, or
At this
like
point,
when the sun gets too real,
might as
this is
well.
where you come for to escape
This
the
is a
harsh
hideout
reality.
for the kids.
You know what? We'll call it that.
That's a hideout for the kids.
To the kids that need to hide from the sun under a non-water thoroughfare, to the hotel owner who won't be bested by the improper measurements
bridge
of a
to
bridge over the
Terabithia.
pool, all I need to know
Bridge to
is
nowhere.
whose man's is this?
Oh my God. Oh, what in the? Let me walk up the steps to get to my room. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Oh, shoot.
So, I'm sorry, you're late on your rent? All right, okay, cool. You know what?
Say no more.
You listen, we're renovating. The laws say we can't evict you. All right, I got you. I got you. You been climbing, going into your apartment through your window.
Tripping hazard.
101. 101.
Wait, handicap accessible? Denied.
Nope.
Not doing it.
False, my G.
Now let me ask y'all
He
this.
said, I'm going to work and I'll be back in 8 hours. Oh my God, where did this step come from?
I'm gonna ask y'all this. Do y'all think on the other side of the door that you think it's flat? Or
Oh
do you
my
think
God.
it's the same type of step surface on the other side?
You know what? I don't
What you
even think
think?
this is a functioning door. This is more decoration.
I think it's functioning.
Hey,
I really do.
It's probably a half door. You open it and half of the door open up.
I think it's functioning.
I don't know, but think about it. When's the last time you seen a 1, 2,
It's
3,
a
4,
balcony.
5,
Look at
10
that.
panel door? Like, when's the last time you seen a 10 panel?
It's a balcony. You see the sun?
I do see the sun.
Wait a minute.
That's exterior.
It might be.
To the tenant that didn't pay their rent and made their handicap accessible unit inaccessible.
Oh my God.
To the architect that says, you know what? We'll show this non-paying squatter who's best,
Who's boss?
who's boss. All we need to know is whose man's is this?
Oh my God.
Wait, what? Wait, what? What's happening? Is this
What?
a fence?
The
What
people said
in
they
the-
wanted a fence, but they didn't say how long they wanted
What
the
in the
fence.
why are you opening a fence when you can just walk around kind of?
They trying.
Oh my God.
Listen, landlord description. You said you wanted a gated entry. Here you go.
It literally is. It's
a gated entry. I mean,
They're trying to ward
Hey
off
Adonis,
these.
I'm trying to get in here, man. I can't unlock this fence.
But
Hey, man,
he-
why
and it
you
looks
locking
like
me
he
out,
is
bro?
concentrating trying to open
He
this gate
sure
too.
do.
I mean, but in fairness though, like, those are new Air Force Ones. You don't just walk in
First of
the
all, those
grass
are not
on
Air
fresh
Force
Air
Ones.
Forces.
I'm gonna call a wolf ticket on that.
Hey, that's a clean paint job though. They
got on-
just redid that
you
whole
know
thing.
something was redone.
He got
that,
on air
right?
ground threes maybe. But
So I mean, is that a functioning door? Is that like a painted on door like Acme? Remember when the Road Runner or the
Well,
Coyote
painted-
were running to the mountain?
Hey,
Like the painted on.
Hey,
that's exactly what that is.
Hey, Mr. Property Manager, I don't have the key to this fence. Can you bring me the key? I'm locked out of my unit right now. I'm just saying.
And I really feel like that gate has a key. I really do.
Look at him. He's you.
To the property manager who upsold a gated entry.
Oh
To
my
the
God.
tenant who won't be bested by walking in the grass with his fresh black Air Force Ones one day out
you
the
do that.
box.
Don't you
All
blame
I
it
need
on
to
Nike.
know is whose man's is this? That never gets
Oh,
old.
I swear to you, it
It
doesn't.
never gets old.
Yo, this show has been great.
Yeah, so Justin, I can't tell you, man, like, you have dropped gems.
So many.
I mean, honestly, the producer has not given you the proper spin that you deserve.
I appreciate that.
Every few minutes, there should have been gems raining. He's
no,
been
it was.
stingy
You just
with
didn't
the
see it.
gems.
No, you didn't see it. You didn't see it. I'm not gonna let you do that to production night. He was on it. You wasn't.
There was like 3 or 4 that was solid gems where we had to call for
He
it.
made it rain gems. I'm telling you. Production, I got y'all back tonight. I got y'all back tonight.
Maybe.
I wasn't paying no attention.
Maybe. Listen,
I saw it.
I was waiting. When you was dropping, I was like, gems.
I saw it.
So,
No,
but
he gets the camera because he's giving nice.
Oh, that's funny.
What's up, y'all?
so Justin, man, I gotta tell you, it is like I feel like we could probably do this for another 6 hours
Easily.
and never run out of content or nuggets for you to drop. But unfortunately, we are running down to the end of the time. Tell us again, how do people get in touch with you? Because I imagine if I'm watching this show, I'd want to reach out to you to say, just tell me more. How do people get in touch with you?
Hit me on Instagram, Justin Brooks REI. That's real estate investor, Justin Brooks REI. Or hit me on LinkedIn. Oh shoot, now I forgot my link. No, Justin Brooks Team. LinkedIn.com/Justin Brooks Team. Or Facebook, J.H. Brooks Company.
I'm not gonna front. You're pushing LinkedIn. Like,
I like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an excellent. So if y'all want to know, like there's a significant difference between each social media platform. Facebook is more B2C, LinkedIn is more B2B, Instagram is more B2C, TikTok is B2C, Instagram Reels B2C, and then Snapchat's B2C.
and then 360 is a freaking plus.
YouTube is all of it.
A to Z, bro.
A to
Whatever
Z.
you want, 360 delivers.
Got it. We got it.
Right. So yeah, definitely for everyone watching, reach out to Justin. Obviously, the guy is an almanac and encyclopedia of information,
Very much so.
inspirational quotes, and the hundreds of books that he's stolen
Stolen
from
books.
all of the local libraries that he's lived in. Justin, we appreciate you joining us.
man, for sure.
As of course, I've been your host, Adonis Lockett, and as always, I got my trusty sidekick, Mr. Darion Coleman. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you next time.
All right.